3 questions you must ask before investing. Everyone wants to be independent, with no burdens, to live adventures, and play by their own rules. Many people dream of traveling the world and moving from place to place, but not you. Your dream is to have your own home, work there, and do what you love. One day, you walk through the neighborhood and look at the houses for sale. You always do this. You walk to the end of the street and there you find the perfect house, the best style, the best color, the best look, and the worst price. You dream big, but your wallet isn't big enough. You'd like to stay longer, but it's so frustrating to look at something you can't have. Your smile disappears, and you're about to go home when someone approaches you. It's a young couple. You notice the rings on their fingers, their happy smiles, and their enthusiastic attitude. They just got married and are also looking for their first home. They ask you about the houses in the area. It's a nice neighborhood. There are good schools. Where can we go for a vacation nearby? The more you listen to them, the more you realize a crucial point. You know a lot about houses. You also know that information is power, and knowing the real estate market can make you good money. You decide that your job will be to invest in the real estate market, to buy houses with potential at a low price and resell them for a big profit. In this way, one day you will be able to afford the house of your dreams. But just like many other activities out there, the real estate market is speculative. It means it's a gamble. You have to consider many factors. What factors? You'll be surprised to discover how many there are. Stick around to find out more. Before continuing, I'd like to know if you're getting any value so far. If you're kind, like this video, and if you're new, welcome, and go ahead and click subscribe. All done? Great, let's move on to the land and the structure. What's inside a house? No, I don't mean the bedrooms, the kitchen, and your treadmill. I mean what makes a house valuable economically. To answer this question, simply look at a house. What do you really see? In a few words, you'll see the walls, the roof, the windows, the porch. All these fun things are called the structure. You might have heard that a house is valued per square foot. After all, it's simple math. If a house is valued at $200 per square foot and you have a property of 2,500 square feet, the value of the house will be $500,000. Other things to consider about the structure are the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and the overall condition of the property. Is the house less than 20 years old? Was the property well maintained? Are the fixtures brand new, and are there no ongoing moisture stains? If the answer is yes, then the house will have a higher value. And that's all. We could stop the video here. After all, aren't these the factors that a family would consider when buying a house? Surely they are, but as an investor, your purpose is not just to buy a house. You're here to invest and make good money. Most of the time, investors buy a house just to sell it immediately when the price goes up. This is called house flipping, and it gives you quick profits. Some investors own hundreds of houses without living in any of them. In some cases, they don't even own the actual property. There's another thing to consider, and it's more important than the entire structure itself. See, a house isn't floating in the air. What's underneath it? And no, I'm not talking about your basement where you play the drums, dreaming of becoming a rock star one day. I'm talking about the block of land the house is sitting on. That's the land. So here's the fact. The land is more valuable than the entire structure. It could be a splendid villa with 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and a jacuzzi on every floor, but like any economic good, just like a car, a phone, or a pen, it tends to depreciate over time. It falls apart and goes out of fashion. This is perhaps the most important concept in the real estate market, but if a structure loses value over time, how can it be a good investment? This is a great question, and once again, the answer is in the land. Land is a limited resource. After all, we can't produce more land, and as the world population increases, so does the demand for new land. Real estate investors know they have to consider many different aspects of the land to compensate for the depreciation of the structure. Choosing the best location determines whether the investment will be profitable or a total disaster. The best thing to help you is to ask yourself some questions. So today, you'll learn the 3 most important questions that real estate investors ask themselves before investing money in a property. In the early 2000s, large oil reserves were discovered in the Shell Valley in North Dakota. If you don't know where that is, think of a cold place in the middle of nowhere. The new oil industry created an incredible amount of new jobs. People started migrating to the rural lands of North Dakota. The population in a few years went from 620,000 to almost 700,000. Obviously, those people needed somewhere to live, but there was a shortage of houses and apartments. What does this mean for the real estate market? Fundamentally, a lot of money. New houses, new apartments, new condos, but most importantly, higher prices. Let's move away now from the cold lands of North America, lit by thousands of intense flames from the incinerators. Let's go to the warm and sunny coasts of Puerto Rico. Isn't it better this way? Well, the answer is no, at least if you're a real estate investor. Almost 50% of the population lives in poverty. Finding work is becoming increasingly difficult, and businesses are closing. It might be a tropical paradise, but no work means that no one is moving to an area, so you'll hardly find anyone to sell your house to. Obviously, these 2 examples are extreme cases, but this could make you realize how much job opportunities count in the real estate market. Even if remote work will become more relevant in the coming years, people primarily live near where they work. Just think about where you live. Is it close to your job? Probably it is, or maybe it's the same for a member of your family. So here's the first question you need to ask yourself. Can people easily find work in the area where I want to invest? If the answer is yes, sure, it's full of great companies and industries that offer many jobs, then investing in the real estate market is a good idea. Otherwise, think twice. How to understand if job opportunities are increasing or decreasing? The first and most important thing is to observe. Ask the employment office. There are agencies that work at the national, state, and even local levels. Ask them questions, and most importantly, try to understand the trends. Maybe they'll tell you that job opportunities are quite good at the moment, but you discover that the year before they were almost double. You'll notice a digression, and this is a red flag for you. Maybe you buy a house now, and in a year, there will be no more work. Tourism, obviously, work is not the only thing to consider. People love to travel and discover new places to fall in love with. We all know how the pandemic has hit the travel and tourism industry in the last year. It will get better in the future, it's hard to make predictions. Many investors are betting that the vaccination campaign will work and are returning to invest in areas well known for tourist attractions. The truth is that tourism has always influenced the real estate market. Take Aspen in Colorado, for example, another cold place in the mountains, but it's one of the most famous tourist destinations in the United States. Families go there to spend the winter skiing and enjoying hot chocolate in their vacation homes. Here's the second question you can ask yourself. Is the area where I want to invest a famous tourist destination? Will it be relevant in the future? The answer is easy. Yes, it's a great place for tourists, and it's full of new job opportunities, so maybe you decide to invest in a house there, and then you discover that the market is saturated. The supply is the total number of houses available in a certain area. It's the same old concept of supply and demand. If there are many houses, the price goes down, especially if there are people who are not willing to buy them. Let's make an example to understand this crucial point. Say you're in a beautiful seaside location. Wherever you turn, there are luxury properties and luxury villas. You know how rich people love to have exclusive things, so maybe they decide that they don't like that place anymore. They go to buy vacation homes somewhere else. The result is many luxury properties and no one is willing to buy them. The market is saturated. Does this mean we absolutely should not invest in the real estate market in that area? Actually, no. Maybe we discover that a new big company has just opened 10 miles away. There are hundreds of new jobs available, so hundreds of workers are looking to buy or rent a house. Obviously, they won't buy those expensive villas. They're looking for more affordable options. So while the supply of luxury real estate is high, there is a shortage of starter homes. Investing in that slice of the market could be the best opportunity for you. Third question. What is the supply of houses for each price range in the area where I want to invest? To find out, you can generally read the reports from your local board of realtors. You can also compare prices with an in-depth search on the web. Neighborhood. Now it's clear the most important things to consider depend on the value of the land the house is sitting on, but think about this for a second. You just bought a new house. It's in a good location near where you work, and you're very happy with your choice. The second day in your new house, you decide to go out for a run, but as soon as you step outside, an angry old man starts yelling at you. He's concerned about the height of your hedges. It's 15 centimeters above the standard. It's against the law. I'll report you. That funny guy is your neighbor, and whether you believe it or not, he's influencing the price of your house. We all want to live in a place with good and open people. New home buyers with small children often avoid places with elderly owners who won't provide playmates for their little ones. The average age of the neighbors provides clues to determine the price of a single house. Also, the proximity to services like schools, supermarkets, airports, and shopping centers can influence the demand for houses in particular areas. So to conclude the video, is housing a good investment? Well, yes, as long as you ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Can a person easily find work to afford the house prices in that area? 2. Is that location relevant for tourism and investors from abroad? 3. What is the supply of houses for each price range in that area? There will be many other questions that accompany them, but if they all work out, then go ahead and invest. Just remember the trends. It's easy to understand what the market situation is at the moment, but what will it be in the future? You can find the answer in the past and start to find some patterns. We would like to know about your experience regarding the topic covered today. Share it with us in the comments, and, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask them. We will gladly respond. Your like would be a source of satisfaction for us, and of course, do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming publications.